Let me move to another issue which also happened at this time, which was the Chinese massing forces and unilaterally trying to change the status quo on the line of actual control in the Ladakh sector. Now, here again, when we look back over these last 2 years, we've actually had Indian forces deployed there under very, very, probably the toughest conditions that you can find anywhere on this planet, in very large numbers, who are standing their ground, and in that sense, ensuring that national security is achieved. Now, what is the enabler to do that? The enabler to do that today, if they were able to do it today, and you have to understand the scale of really what has happened in the last 2 years. If you look at the deployment of forces in that sector, it is actually the biggest deployment probably we have done since the 1962 war. So the idea that so many troops could go there and be maintained there logistically over 2 winters now has been because of the infrastructure progress that we have made. In fact, it is the fact that in the border areas, the speed of our infrastructure development has been 2 to 3 times of what it used to be before in the last 8 years. That is really what has enabled our troops to be deployed out there. So again, when you think national security, a road that we build, our ability to make tunnels, to build bridges, these are also very much a part of our national security. Without the appropriate infrastructure, and if there are actually efforts at delaying or derailing the building of infrastructure, especially in border areas, you should ask yourself, is that not a weakening of your national security? So, and it isn't, I'm citing to you infrastructure, but it's also a case where actually diplomacy was very much in evidence, so that our ability to access the right kind of equipment for troops to stay there in the winter was also a contribution to national security. So what has been the last 8-year record? Where China is concerned, as I said, we are again very clear that we will not allow the line of actual control to be changed unilaterally and in violation of understandings that we have. And therefore, we will stand our ground very strongly. And we will, while standing our ground, also engage the Chinese so that where the deployments are particularly dangerous, we at least find a way of de-frictionalizing that in a way. And finally, let me draw your attention to the implications of the situation in Ukraine, the conflict there. For a large part of the world, including us, today it shows up in what we call a 3F crisis: fuel, food, and fertilizers. That these three, prices of these three have gone up. They have a very significant inflationary impact. In the case of food, they will actually lead to hunger situations. In the case of fertilizer, it will create a cascading problem down the road. So the next harvest in many countries are going to be endangered. So it tells you again how something far away has actually a direct implication on our well-being. In some cases, how it increases our vulnerability. And as I said, it could even actually impact our competitiveness. So I want you to really imagine national security as something not country, borders, and beyond the borders. This is the entire world actually which can today come to your home in different ways. It can come as a virus, it can come as a cost of petrol, it can come as a shortage of food, it can be a problem with fertilizers, it can come as a radical idea in your neighborhood, or it is something which could come because in your country the system was not geared to give the right responses when it was being threatened from outside. So what is the answer? The answer, obviously, since it is so comprehensive, is the concept of comprehensive national power. Many of you know it, understand it. And I want you to appreciate that in this 8 years of the Modi government, what we have tried to do is actually to build India comprehensively. I can, when I told you at the start that there were many things I could talk about, girls' education, skills India, digital India, Swachh Bharat, each one of them is a dot. I want you to connect these dots. If you connect these dots, you will realize that there is actually a holistic vision, integrated vision of what our comprehensive national power should be. And that comprehensive national power, first of all, is dependent on improving the quality of human resources. It's a very people-centric approach. And in a way, in international relations parlance, I can say, if we are successful in implementing our sustainable development goals by the end of this decade, I can tell you we will revolutionize India.